Hey everybody, welcome to Jeff Bowles Central. Thwip. Thwip. You know, that looks better on the page than it actually sounds. In no way does the word thwip resemble shooting webs from a wrist-mounted web shooter. Regardless, we are reviewing Marvel's Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation exclusive, and boy, what an exclusive. I have been looking forward to this game for a very long time, ever since Insomniac Games showed it off at E3, I think it was 2 years ago? I want to say 3 years ago. But when I saw that early footage of this game, I kind of went a little nuts because it looked great. And Lord knows there hasn't been a really excellent Spider-Man game in a long time, and Pete deserves it. And it kind of draws on the better of the classic Spider-Man games, including Spider-Man 2, which was the really first good superhero game that I ever played. It was based on the movie Spider-Man 2, and that game was so great because it introduced an open world Manhattan, and it introduced real web slinging, where you could actually affix your webs to real points on buildings rather than just like floating in the sky and swing. It had a physics system and it was great, and this game does exactly the same thing, only, you know, better, because it updates it, and we're on a totally souped up version of a video game console compared to the PlayStation 2. And it does everything right. This game is so good. So good, I can't even tell you. Lot of classic Spider-Man characters: Dr. Octavius, Mary Jane, Aunt May, some of the newer ones as well. And it takes place in a cool era, or a cool period, I should say, in Peter Parker's life, because he's not in school anymore. He's not in high school. He's not in college. He's in the real working world, working for Dr. Octavius. And that's kind of an interesting place to put Spidey, because, you know, if you're not familiar with the comics, all you know Spider-Man from is from the movies, and he's pretty much always in high school, or while he's in high school or college a lot of the time. There's a lot of really great suits changes. You know, there's a lot of suits. There's a lot of weapons and web shooter modifications, and suit powers, which are kind of cool. Like, every time you unlock a brand new suit, you get a new power that you can swap in and out, and slightly modify what Spidey can do. Insomniac Games, of course, going back to Ratchet and Clank, is very well known for cool weapons, unique weapons. And, you know, this game kind of demonstrates that same thing. There's a lot of cool side missions. There's a lot of cool, just kind of side off the beaten path things, for everything from stopping a mugging to taking pictures of landmarks. And what's great is every time you do one of these small activities, you get these points that you can spend on further upgrades, so that it's not ancillary. It's not like an optional thing. You really do have to be Spider-Man every once in a while and stop a crime, which just further makes you feel like Spidey. Like, here's a cool suit. This is Iron Spider from Infinity War. It's kind of cool to see this one in here. And, you know, it's got a great story mode. It's a good Spider-Man story, and it's a very classic take on Peter Parker, and what you expect to see from him, who you expect him to be. Here's another cool suit. This is Scarlet Spider, which is kind of like from my childhood, because that's when I was reading comics. So the story is really good. It's a nice length. I think the whole experience is maybe 20 to 30 hours. 30, well, if you stop to smell the roses, but you should. Because the city of New York here is just so beautifully rendered. It looks good, it plays good, it feels good. A lot of side stuff, like these little mechanical things. This passes for science in a video game, just randomly putting in little chunks of things and spinning them around so the current goes through. Some of the side stuff is not necessary. It seems like they kind of threw everything at the post here just to see what would stick. And if I'm being honest, you don't need all of it, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have a lot of different activities and a lot of different things that you can do. To tell you the truth, I almost feel like this is a better game than the Batman Arkham games, and I compare it to Batman not only because of the combat, but because similarly, that series is a really good example of letting you feel like a superhero, feel like the man himself, the Batman. And this here, you feel like the Spider-Man. Actual combat is kind of great. There's a lot. Actually, it takes a little while to master, as does the web slinging. It takes a little getting used to, mostly because it's just so fast. And you're going to be jumping from one guy to the next guy and doing all sorts of cool moves, and you unlock more moves. So the entire experience is great. The visuals are great. The suits are great. I really honestly had a good time with this game. There's not a whole lot of bad that I feel like I can say about it. Mostly because I am, admittedly, a Spider-Man fan. I am a Marvel fan. I've been reading the comics for years. So, you know what? Getting to, turn on the PlayStation and be Spidey for a while, it's kind of a pleasure. And I really do appreciate Insomniac Games. It was totally worth the wait. You should totally buy it, regardless of whether you like Spidey or Marvel or not. It's just a good game. If you like good games, look no further. This is a great game. And it's a PlayStation exclusive. Like, this is another reason to own a PlayStation. It's in HDR, it's in 4K if you've got a PlayStation Pro, which I don't. This footage, by the way, is just on a regular PlayStation, so it just kind of shows off how pretty it is. So, all in all, couple flaws. Maybe not as tight in places as it needs to be, but I don't care. I love this game. Right after I'm done recording this audio thingy here and uploading this video onto the tube of the U, I'm gonna go play some more, because I want a web swing, and I want to be Spidey, and that's all you need to know about that. So, Spider-Man, PlayStation 4 gets an official 10 out of 10 from Jeff Bowl Central. Yeah, that's a high score, everybody, but let me tell you something. Totally deserving, totally worth it. Buy this game and play it, and live out your Marvel Spider-Man fantasy. Until next time, everybody. Hey, I'm done. I'm tired. Spider-Man. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Whoa, careful.
And while you're at it, you can go online and buy my book here, Brave New Multiverse, a collection. Short stories redefined. It's insane. You'll love it. Bye.